of germs.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I hope you can hear me. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We're starting shortly. Tonight we have our own brother tonight with us, Josh Kolawole. You can see the song at the background, Awesome You Are. Yes, by our own brother, Kolawole. Yeah, we are going to be having him very shortly to join us. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for coming out. It's going to be an awesome time tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Awesome you are. Yes, we have our guest speaker tonight. Yes, the one and only Josh Kolawole is here in our midst. Thank you for coming out tonight. God bless you. God bless you. Welcome. That's Kolawole. God bless you, Minister Josh Kolawole. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for tuning
yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You can hear the song at the background. Awesome You Are, by our own brother Josh Kolawole. It's a blessed song.
Yeah.
YouTube. Thank you so much. We have a little time for people to join us. Please share the link. Share the link now. Share the link.
All right.
Yeah. Share the link. Let people know you're online. For those online with us, thank you, Prince Ogunbona. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you.
We just give people some little time to join us. We just give people some little time to join us. We'll be starting shortly. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. Magdalene, I can see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Nikki 577, we can see you. Thank you for joining. Please let's share the link. Let's tell people we're online. This is Talking Gospel Live with Fola Amo, and we're online with our own minister, Josh Kolawole tonight. Last one we did was with Mike Abdul, and tonight we're having Minister Josh Kolawole. It's going to be a blessing to us tonight, and we believe God for him that tonight is going to be an awesome night, which I believe and I will be starting very shortly. It won't take much of your time. We know you are a busy person. You have one or two things to do, but thank you for coming out. So I want to give you some time to say some words to your people watching you out there and to tell them thank you all for coming out tonight. So I don't know what you have to say to them tonight.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Kolawole, God's favorite. I really want to say thank you for having me. I really celebrate God, the grace of God upon your life. Thank you. And then for everyone out there watching us, God bless you. God bless you real good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll start shortly. But before we go forward, I want to tell you who Minister Josh Kolawole. I want to tell you some things about him tonight, and I believe God is going to be a blessing to us tonight. Oladende Ahmed Kolawole, popularly called Josh Kolawole, was born May 11th and is the fifth born of the family of six. Josh Kolawole, a multi-talented instrumentalist and a singer, started his music career from a tender age of 3 as a drummer at Salt of the World Gospel Church. He later went to play for Leeds to the Cross Gospel Church, where his mother is a pastor and was the music director for the Lord's Crew for 8 years. The person here is not a mistake being here with us. The mother is also a pastor, so you should be expecting more from him tonight. God bless you. And aside being a choir director, he also a vocal coach. He can coach, so if you are here tonight, you need a coach for your church, for your choir, this is who you should contact. So he's also a musical coach, has a several church choir. He has trained under his belt. He also directed various choral assemblies. Growing up in the choir helped build just into the sonorous vocalist and skilled musically. He is currently today. He has been on stage ministering alongside several notable Nigerian gospel artists, including Monique, Mike Abdul, late Samuel Post, Midnight Crew, Sayo Omoti, Tope Alabi, to mention few. Josh has also recorded some songs like Awesome You Are, which we were hearing from the beginning of this program. He said another one, Not Again, and there's one, He Gave Me Something, to mention few. You need to go and check some of his songs out. You won't regret listening to these songs, I believe. Josh Kolawole is also the convener of the Year Music Concert, Tag Oya Now, and he's also the leader of the band Radar Empire. I can't go forward and forward and forward. I can go forward and forward. I know it's a blessing. I've seen what he has done. I've seen some of his video online, and it's been a blessing. So, and he's married. Let me tell you, he's married with 2 kids. Josh is married with 2 kids. He's blessed with 2 kids. God bless you. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Man.
God bless you.
Thank you.
And to those watching with us now, we are going to start the show. We have some, we won't take much of your time, so we'll be going into the question straightforward. We'll be going into the question. Our first question for you tonight says, I didn't even ask, are you ready for us? Are you ready for us tonight?
I'm ready. Very, very much ready.
Our first question for you tonight says, how is your journey so far in gospel music? How is your journey so far in gospel music? Thank you.
Please come again. Come again, please.
How is your journey so far in gospel music?
Okay. I want to be precise. The truth is that it's been very, 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 very demanding. Really, it's been very demanding. And then, it takes someone that is very, very focused, someone that knows what he's doing, that understand the call of God upon his life, to still be doing what he or she is doing. The truth is that it has been very, 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 very demanding, like I said before. I can remember some times ago when I was growing up, I discovered that especially when your parents ask you to go to school, when they ask you to go and study, some things, and then you say you want to do music, you can't just disobey them, and then you have to still do it. I eventually went to university to study economics, but why I'm doing economics, music is that's what drives me, basically. Ever since I finished from my university, I've never worked with my certificate up till now. Why? Because music is my passion. That's my passion. And then that's what has been driving me, even irrespective of whatever I'm going through per time. Sometimes some people do music for money, but mine is beyond money. It's not even, even if I don't make money from music, I'm still doing it because it's a passion for me. And that's what has been driving me, knowing God and then understanding the call of God upon my life, that this is my line, and that's what has been driving me, really. That's what has been driving me.
Wow. Thank God for God, because I think you've been in the place of God. God has been your backbone. God has been backing you up, and that's what you've been using. He said, music is not about money for me. It's beyond money. That's it. It's beyond money. That's what he just told us now. So don't give up. Don't give up. If music is not about money for you, keep pushing, keep striving, and you see God
Yeah.
blessing you. That's what Josh Kolawole just told us tonight. Thank you, Francis. Francis Oli, they said, Boss Josh, I celebrate you, sir. Thank you for coming out tonight. Very passionate about music. Yes, I can see him. We know him. He's very passionate. Thank you so much for that comment. If you have questions like we used to do, if you have questions for Josh Kolawole, please keep putting them down. We'll ask you shortly to send in your question, and I believe God for him that is going to answer you. Thank you so much for that perfect answer to that question. It's been God all the way. Thank you. The next question for you tonight says, what are the challenges and how did you overcome them? Because I know in music there are challenges, and you can't say there's no challenges, but how did you overcome those challenges? Thank you.
Wow. There are many challenges, really. Like I said earlier before, the passion is what has been driving me. Let me just give you an example. Okay, there was a time in my life that there was nothing, money wasn't coming in, nothing wasn't coming, I wasn't receiving anything, and then I couldn't record songs in the studio. I could not do anything, and then I still have people that are following me, like a band. I still work with a band, but I couldn't record songs. I couldn't do anything, but I keep moving. Okay, let me give you an example. There was one keyboardist that I met like 12 years ago, and then his name is Mayo Music. And then so one day he just met me on the road. He said, I need a church, he want to be playing, and then I connected him to the church. Okay, so after that time, the church, I was actually paying him, they were not paying me. And I was in that church. That was like it's 15 years ago now. So the church was paying me, they were not paying me. So I was, you know how it looks, and you need money to do a lot of things. After like 5 years, we lose contact, and then before we met again, it was after another 8 years. When we now met, when I met him, he just told me, he said, Josh, do you know that? And now this person I'm talking about is the producer that produced Sinach songs.
Wow.
Waymaker.
Wow.
Waymaker. So, and then I just met him. He just said, Josh, I'm owing you. I said, what are you owing me? He said, I'm owing you a song. Wow. I said, really? I'm telling you. He just called me and he said, let me do your song. And he did the song. It was not that did the Awesome You Are.
Wow. Wow, that's powerful.
So I told myself, what I did then was a seed. I never knew it was a seed. I needed help that time, but I wasn't getting it. But I still saw a seed in his life, and then I now reap it later. So that's what happens when you are passionate about what you're doing, and you're not doing it because you're not doing it for yourself alone. You're thinking for other people. Your mind is impacting lives. So these are things, and that's how I begin to overcome those things. And then from another song to another song, and I thank God I'm here.
Wow. As we're talking, we have Slaves Bade joined us. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Really appreciate you. You see, one word he has been saying from the beginning of this is be passionate about what you do. I think that's a long way. Look at somebody that he has helped somebody and he has forgotten he has even helped the person. And coming to do a program, if you think it's easy to shoot a video, if you think it's easy, you can go and ask out there and how much they shoot the video. For somebody to just look at you and say, I owe you something and I'm paying you back. It's not something easy. But I believe it's because of what you have sown into the life of the person. And you see, there's another thing to sow and for somebody to appreciate it. We thank God because you sow into his life and he came back to say thank you. Do you understand? We have to make people we have sown into their life and they're not back to say thank you. So there's another thing to sow and another thing to come and appreciate. But I love the word you keep saying, be passionate about what you do. If you have that tonight and you feel discouraged, please be passionate. It's not late yet. That's what Mr. Josh is telling us. Said, be passionate about what you do and you'll see God blessing you. Thank you so much. If you have questions, like we said, this is the second question we have with us tonight. If you're just joining us, this is Gospel Talking Gospel Live with Fola Mo. I'm here with Minister Josh Kolawole, and it's been a blessing since we started. I've been learning a lot of things from him, and one of the things we've learned tonight is just for us to be passionate about what we do, and definitely to come to us intently. So we have Clara Olubodun. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. And so, Minister Josh, we have the next question for you tonight is, what is the inspiration behind your song, It Gave Me Something? You see, when I saw that song, I was like, I want to know what this give you. It gave me something. Like, I was also curious to know what God has given you. I know it's God that has given you, but I want to know what God has given you. So what is the inspiration behind that song? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for having me again, once again. Okay, what actually prompted that song? Okay, let me just give you an example. There was a time in my life, that's like two years ago.
Yeah.
I had a child, and that child was inside incubator.
Wow.
For months, and then it's very demanding. Out being in the hospital for like 6 months, spending. It's been very, very tough. But I really want to say thank you to God, because God saw me through. In the midst of this time I'm talking about, I had nothing to. I wasn't working anymore. I lost my job in the process, lost a lot of things. But you know what? God told me, He said, He's with me. And then when He told me that word, I stand on that word, I keep moving. This is what shocked me. In the midst of all these things, there was a day, I needed God the most. That day, I needed a lot of things to put some things in place in the hospital. God just showed up. Like it was, I know what you're not even expecting. Somebody just messaged me on Facebook and said, please, my name is so. I need you to send me your account details. I just saw something, and then he just sent me more than what I needed.
Wow.
I was crying, and at the same time was praising God. That day, that song dropped in my mind, that He gave me something. He did this. This is what I'm talking about. It's a matter of life and death. And then I thank God that I was able to solve it with ease through God. That was when God came in for me. And then that song came that He gave me. I cannot deny that He's the only one that did it.
That's it. There's one thing about God. He doesn't leave His own people. Yeah. If you serve God genuinely, you serve Him with the whole of your heart. And now, before you started this show, you said you don't do this for money. That you are doing it for God. And if you are serving God and you are doing things for God, definitely He will stand for you. That's what I believe. I've been in your shoes too before, but we know how God used to bring His own house. That's the thing. But I thank God for your life, because that song has been on my head. I'm like, I want to see what God has given to Minister Josh Kolawole. I must know what God has given. Oh, thank God for what God has done, and I believe that the testimony shall be permanent. In the mighty name of Jesus. As we're having it, we saw Elise May join us. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out. It's not easy to take your data and come up and start joining on Instagram. We celebrate you all. Minister Josh is saying thank you also. God bless you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for that part. Yeah, we already have questions rolling in for you, but at the end of the course, we will ask you the question. Thank you so much. The next question for you tonight said, you are Oladeyinde Ahmed Kolawole. What inspired you to stick to the stage name Josh Kolawole? Thank you.
Okay, that's my Oladeyinde Ahmed Kolawole. That's my full name.
Yeah.
When they gave that to me, that's the name given to me. But that time I was a Muslim. My parents was a Muslim. I came from a Muslim background. And then, my mom took us to church. And then, when you get to church, you have to do baptism. After baptism, I can't be bearing the kind of name, the old name. I have to change my name to Joshua. And then since I joined, so that there was a day I was just thinking, God, what name do you want me to bear? And then he said, that's the name I want you to bear. And then Kolawole is also amongst my name. Then he just said, Josh. He's one that gave, it's God that gave me that name. He said, Josh Kolawole. There was a time I was using Josh Wisdom. But God, that was, I decided that one myself. But God now gave me that name. He said, Josh, he gave me the spelling. Jorsh.
Wow.
Kolawole.
Wow.
And then when I received that, I didn't even think about any other thing. And by the time I also find out on Instagram, nobody was wearing that name at that time. Wow. You know, I just said, this is what God can do.
Wow. That's a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. It's good to hear from our maker. That's a beautiful one. Now, as we're talking, we have Minister Deborah Bleed then just joined us. Thank you for joining us, guys. We are so happy to have you in our midst tonight. Thank you so much. This is Talking Gospel Live with Fola Amo, and tonight with me I have Minister Josh Kolawole. It's been an awesome time with him. Sincerely speaking, I've been learning a lot from him. And we had at the peak of the last question with him tonight before we move to the question time. We know you're busy, Josh, but we thank God for you tonight. Thank you so much for taking out of your time to be a blessing to us. We thank you. The last question from me from this stage tonight is, what do you want people to always remember you for? You can be Josh Kolawole, you can be ministering anywhere, you can do the both. There will be one thing we always want people to remember you for. So we want to have it. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. One of the things that's been my passion ever since I started ministry is impacting lives. You know, there's, like I used to tell people, that you can't be with me, I can't be with you, or I can't be working with you, and then you're not getting any impact from me. You will be, you will get, at least you will be impacted. I've worked with many artists, and I'm still working with a few of them, like Mike Abdul. Mike Abdul is one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm also a blessing to him, because somehow, you know, I like, and then, like I said, anywhere I am, I cannot be there, and then and then you're not impacted. Something will happen to you positively. You will see an evidence of that God is with this person, you know. So, and one of the things is that your life will never remain the same. And that's what I want people, that's what people will remember me for. That anytime I come across this man, my life changed. Something moved. The shift, you know. Yeah, there's something that's moved in me, and then that's one of the things that people remember me.
Thank you so much, and you continue to be a solution to your world in the mighty name of Jesus. We celebrate God's grace upon your life. You're a blessing. We've seen you sing. I've seen your YouTube channel. I've seen you sing. I've seen your voice, and I see that you are indeed a blessing. As we're going for the BBNet Media joined, this is the media that always do my flyers. Thank you for joining tonight. God bless you. I really do appreciate. Well, I want to say thank you to you, Minister Josh Kolawole. It's been an awesome time with you tonight. But before we go, we have questions. Francis Olaide has questions for you tonight. He said, what is your advice for upcoming artists? He wants to know the advice you have for upcoming artists, because most of people watching you tonight, some people are upcoming artists. They want to know how there can also be a blessing out there, your advice that they can make use of tonight. Thank you.
Right. Okay. I'm going to be very precise. Number one thing, stay with God.
God bless you.
Stay with God. If you are not with God, then you know who you are with. Stay with God. That's the truth. You cannot stay with human being alone. Of course, God uses human beings, but stay with God. Have a personal relationship with God. Is key for you. Except if you are a secular musician, if you are a gospel artist, stay with God. You know, I've learned this thing can never be overemphasized. You know, you need to stay with God. It's only God that can take you. The Bible says, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith.
Yeah.
So stay with God. That's my advice for you. And then, you know, another thing, prayer. You know, as ministers, we don't pray, especially musicians. You know, some singers, they don't like when they say let's come and pray. You know, they take it very with levity. You know, but prayer is key. Prayer is so key. So it's very important that we must pray. Then, lastly, take out time, because you are a worship. If you are a worshiper, then you are supposed to be worshiping God always. Take out time to worship God. If you are really, you know, some people say that praise worship, it's time for praise worship. Yeah. Praise worship. But it's supposed to be what? Praise in worship.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be praise in worship. Praise is just a form of worship. So people need to understand that when you worship God, it can be. And I can just give an example. I went to visit a friend one day, and then I met her on the floor crying. You know, she was crying. She was just crying. She was not saying anything, but crying. I just said, what's wrong with you? She wasn't answering me, so I left her for a while. After a while, she came back to me and she said, I said, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Do you know what she told me? She said, I'm worshiping God. I said, you're worshiping God. That's another form of worship. So you don't have to singing sometimes. You don't have to sing before you worship God. Take out time, worship God. You know, have time for God. That's my advice for upcoming artists. Relationship with God, prayer, then worship.
Worship God. Thank you so much. Wow. Upcoming artists, you can hear that. Staying with God is everything. He said, stay with God. Apart from staying with God, you have to still be a prayer person. And apart from that, you have to worship God. The Bible said, when you worship God, it brings him down. God himself come down and show into your situation and move around your situation. So you have to stay with God. That's what Josh has told us tonight. I think most of the believers have been bringing here, my people have been they keep saying that word, stay with God, which is number one key in everything. If you want to move in life, that's number one key. Thank you so much, Josh. And there's one last question for you that says, who is your mentor?
Wow. Kai. Okay. My mentor. You know, I don't. When I talk about them, it looks as if have they given you something? But really, they have given me something. Really. I'm so excited about them. Always excited. Okay, number one, I have two mentors in my life. And then first one is Mike Abdul. And the second one is the second one is Mr. Biodun Olakonu. Wow. His name is Mr. Biodun Olakonu, CEO of Dobre Ventures. Wow. You know, these people have impacted so much in my life that I cannot but follow them. That's the truth. You know, and then especially you know, Mike Abdul, I work with him, you know, virtually every time. And then you can't work with that man and then you remain the same. It's not possible.
I'm telling you.
You don't, you know, your mentors don't choose you. You choose your mentors.
That's it.
If somebody is not mentoring you well, you dismentor them.
Point.
But these people, my mentors, I chose them and I cannot dismentor them because they remain my mentor. They have been impacting me. And then, you know, I'm so, if you say anything about them, I can be very upset with you. You know, that's how deep I am. And I'm so glad I'm associated with them.
Thank you so much. If somebody is not mentoring you well, or more, dismentor them and go, and you have right to choose your mentor. You can hear that. Don't follow people that will mentor you into the wrong way and you remain there. Choose your mentor. Choose it rightly. That's what he's saying tonight. Choose your mentor rightly. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming out tonight. We didn't take this for granted. We really appreciate you. Thank you for coming up on this platform, and thank you for coming out on this show. As we're going on, we have Olu Atoyi. It was also one of us. It was one of us that came on this show too. We had fun with her. Thank you so much for connecting also tonight. But before you go, we do one thing here. You will sing for us. That is what we normally do. Whether the voice is there, we want to know the main voice. You know, studio voice is different from this one, but I know that your voice is the same. So that's what we do. So you just freestyle for us, and you know, then we'll call it a good day. Thank you so much. Let's hear you.
Okay, there's a word for somebody that everything is turning around for my good. Oh. That's a declaration. For my good. Oh. For my good. Oh. For my good. Listen, them be say they no good. Them be say you no go make them. Them be say no solution to your matter. Them no say the Lord of us they your side to give you testimony we go loud. Everything is turning around for your good. Oh. Hey, for your good. Oh. For your good. Oh. For your good. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much. Powerful one tonight. Oluwatoyin said everything is turning around for my good. Thank you so much, guys. It has been a lovely session. I am blessed. I don't know about you out there, but me, I am blessed. And the word that is going on with me tonight is that I must impart life in my own way. That's what Josh taught me. Learn to impart life. Don't go somewhere and you don't impart life. Thank you so much, Josh. I want you to say thank you to those watching you tonight. Tell them thank you for coming out.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So please, guys, follow Josh. If you go to his IG page, it's Josh Kolawole. Please, let's follow him. Let's go to his YouTube channel. Whatever he does is a blessing. He's always around Mike Abdul. He's always around Monique. And you've heard about him. He has a lot of songs. We need to go get the song and please don't waste time. God will bless you. As we are going on, Joshua Israel just joined us. Thank you, Joshua, for being a blessing. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming out tonight. We'll call it a day. God bless you and have a nice day.
Amen.
See you next time.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.